Welcome guys.
Hello.
This is our Q&A video. We got a lot of questions, so here we are answering them. We made 4 categories. We start with things about the game.
And let us know if you have any more questions, just comment.
Yes, all right. How do you get new cards in the game? Well, it's pretty easy. You walk around the board, and if you land on a space, for example on the plain or in the jungle or on the lake, you reveal a card, and if it's an object you can just take it with you or leave it there. If it's a dinosaur, you can catch the dinosaur if you are able to do it, or yeah, you can craft objects at the workshop and trade objects at the marketplace. So that's how you get new cards.
How long does it take to complete a game?
Well, first of all, you have 5 different game variants you can play. You can play, it's basically how strong the T-Rex is you have to defeat. In the beginning, you're a bit slower and you just don't know that much about the game, so it takes you a little longer. And after you've completed the game for a few times, you can easily beat it in an hour or 1.5, depending on which game variant.
I think when you play it the first time, it's no less fun, really. It's just different. It's best to play it with an attitude of just exploring and getting to know the game and having fun, rather than wanting to complete it in an hour.
What does defeating the T-Rex mean? All the cards have an attack value, right? And the T-Rex has a defense value. So your combined attack values just have to be higher than the defense value of the T-Rex. So you just go to the T-Rex and then you say, all right, I got these 3 cards in my hand. They have a combined attack value of 34. So I beat the T-Rex, who has 30 defense.
Are the cards based on real dinosaurs and objects? Yes. We made a big effort to research and to have the dinosaurs accurate. So they should look like they used to look, more or less. Of course, we don't know what colors they had back then. And also the abilities of the dinosaurs, they make sense. So if an ability is, what is it, the Jagdimmobil in English?
Pack hunter, for example.
Yes.
If it's a pack hunter in our game, you can actually learn something about the dinosaurs. So you know, all right, that's a species that hunted in packs.
And the objects as well, they're not made up objects, but we do have some made up abilities.
Yes.
For example, a lot of objects in the lake, they're supposed to be a bit more magical and mystical. So, for example, there are earrings in the game that when you use them or wear them, if you think in the world of the game, then your weapons get stronger.
How does the game stand out from the rest? Well, it combines a few things that we have never seen combined like that. It's on one hand, it's a card game, so it works a bit like a trading card game, but you also move on a board.
And it's also a deck builder.
And it's also a deck builder, so you don't have to have anything prepared. You collect your cards along
the way.
Along the way, yeah, as you play.
And it's got a sort of great humor to it. It's not that we put jokes on the cards, but it's just the way you use these objects and other dinosaurs to defeat and catch more dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You can really imagine in your inner eye being there.
Yeah, imagine yourself riding on a mountain bike, chasing a dinosaur with your lasso and your throwing spear or your.
It's just a funny thought.
It should be fun. Who is the game suitable for? First of all, fans of dinosaurs, obviously, and then fans of card games, strategy games,
board games.
Yeah, Yeah.
fans of having good time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's primarily made for adults because you gotta read a lot, but we say it's for kids or teenagers who are interested in the game as well, as long as they can read, and they maybe adults have to accompany them and like teach them the game.
A 10-year-old kid might not play it correctly, really. I mean, I didn't play Monopoly correctly when I played as a kid, but I think they'd still have fun, especially if they're into dinosaurs.
Is it a complicated game?
Well, yes and no. It's not complicated to play, really. Once you get the hang of a few simple principles, you can play it quite quickly and fluent, but there's quite a lot to it in terms of what could be the best strategy, which cards play together well. So you can sort of play it without thinking a lot and just have fun. But you can also play it and try to be the best player out there, and then you obviously think a lot more about it.
Is it a game about luck or about skill? Well, you need both, and that's what we were going for, right? It's a strategy game, that's why it's definitely a game of skill. You have to be flexible and work out how to adapt to different situations. But on the other hand, it's a card game. You cannot manipulate what you draw, you cannot manipulate what you reveal. The piles are really big, there's so many different objects. Obviously, luck plays a role in it as well.
Isn't there a strategy that always works best? No.
There
No.
isn't, because it's really dependent on what you reveal, and you have to go for different strategies every game because the game plays out very differently.
There are so many different cards, and some piles in the game you will not go through the whole pile, so you really don't know what you're gonna get each time.
Is there a lot of downtime during play? No, there isn't. It's going back and forth very quickly. Most turns are just playing one card, doing the action, then drawing a card and ending your turn. During your opponent's turn, you have to first of all think about your next turn, because you just drawn a card and you can think what to do next. And also you have to pay attention what your opponent does to maybe counter it at some point.
Is there a lot of interaction between opponents or opposing teams?
Well, there is some interaction, but it's not like we attack you, then you attack us, then we attack you again. It's not like that. Most of the game is working out your strategy, collecting cards, taking them with you along the way, crafting them, trading them, etc. But sometimes you just see a great opportunity to attack the opposing team or do something that they that maybe counters their strategy. How do you work together with your teammate in a 2 versus 2 game? Well, you can first of all attack the T-Rex together. You can also give each other some cards if you stand next to each other on the board, and then you can, for example, give all the good cards or combinations of cards to one player, and this player tries to defeat the T-Rex alone.
Can you just play cooperatively?
Yes, you can, basically, but it's just not very exciting after a few times, right? So we can see two people playing cooperatively when they get to know the game. So to discover new stuff and to try to beat the T-Rex when you really played for the first or the second time. But after that, it gets a bit boring when you're not under pressure. So that's what we felt anyway. I mean,
we much prefer to battle each other.
yes, it's just if this pressure of your opponent being faster than you, and you can see them collecting maybe like good cards or a good combination or good working out a good strategy, it just kind of puts that pressure on you. You think, all right, now I got to do this very fast and try to counter that strategy. If that thing goes away, it's just not that exciting.
Right, let's move on to the second section of our questions. Now we want to answer some about the development of the game. How did you come up with the idea of creating a game?
Well, we are both creative people. We like to invent stuff, to create stuff, to draw stuff. And we like games. We used to create own games as kids as well. Obviously not as sophisticated as this one, but I had this idea in mind of a card game where you collect cards along the way and try to build a deck and a good strategy to do something, whatever that is. And you
and I thought about that, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It was really important to me to find a good topic that really lets me or other people want to pick up the game because it's an exciting world or something. And so we came up with dinosaurs because who doesn't love dinosaurs? They're just cool. And then the whole thing evolved over time period of a couple of months until we were really happy with our idea. And then it all went from there.
Mm-hmm. How did you two collaborate? Well, some things we did together, some things we like. Sometimes we had our own niches of expertise.
I sort of came up with new ideas, and you thought about how we could put that into the game. And yeah, I drew, you designed. And it's also nice working as a team, or being two people, that sometimes when you're not that motivated, the other one is, and the other way around. Can you describe the development?
Well, we started out with discussing the ideas, as we mentioned. Then at the end of 2018, we started with putting the first ideas into an Excel spreadsheet, like assigning some values to random dinosaurs and objects. Then we printed it out and started to play and try it if a game like that could work. And then we went from there. We came up with new ideas and tried to design everything. You started drawing, and yeah, it was like half a year.
Intense work, half a year.
Half a year of intense work. And then we had like a first playable game. Most elements we have now in the game were there in the summer of 2019. And since then, we've just play tested a lot. We've played a lot with friends and adjusted a lot of things. Removed some stuff, added some stuff, refined with all the values, tried to balance it out.
What kinds of work did you put into the game?
Well,
all kinds.
Yes, as we mentioned, drawing, designing,
printing, cutting, testing.
Yes.
Discussing.
Writing all the text. We translated it ourselves as well.
Learning Photoshop.
From German to English. Yeah, learning Photoshop. Making videos. Doing the soundtrack. Everything you can imagine, we did ourselves. Obviously not like...
we obviously didn't make the paper ourselves, where the cards are printed onto.
Yeah, and we had to let like cards be printed, stuff like that. The print work is basically the only thing we didn't do ourselves.
Did you take inspiration from somewhere?
Yes, we took inspiration from card games, from like trading card games, from other video games, from adventure games we like to play, and from
lots of different places, really.
Yeah,
It's a mix of a lot of things. But definitely video games did inspire us a lot.
Why didn't you work with professionals?
We didn't make the game just to sell it as quickly as possible. We made it just because we felt like making a game.
We love to do most of the tasks we do. I mean, it was really a joy to do most things. Sometimes it gets a bit tedious. Like it wasn't easy to draw like 200 different cards, but
it's still fun to do it and then be proud when you've done it.
Exactly.
It's like when you listen to music and the artist has done the producing and songwriting him or herself. We just like the idea of everything being our own.
Yes. So we also didn't want to like pay somebody to do certain things. We just want it to be our game.
And it's also a bit easier when you want to adjust things and you've done it all yourself. You can, whenever you feel like it, just draw a new picture and add a new card to the game.
All right. Some questions about the further proceeding. What are the next steps if you manage to collect the money?
Then we celebrate.
Yeah. And afterwards, we have to contact the production company and see what we can do, depending on how much money we get. Maybe if we just get the 12,000 francs, we don't have a lot of choice and a lot of possibilities. If we get a bit more, we can maybe choose between production companies, between different offers. But yeah, it really depends on money.
Will you make instruction videos for the game? Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good way to learn a game, so that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Will you produce the game in multiple languages? We're going to produce it in 2 languages, German and English. German is our first language and the original language of the game. But we translated everything ourselves, so everything is exactly how we wanted it to be in English, and we hope that there's enough interest for the English game as well, so we can produce it.
How long will the production take?
We first have to find the right company to produce the game, and then we have to prepare all the files and everything, and try to, check if everything's as we wanted it to be, and we hope that we can produce it like in October and then send it to everybody in November, December.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we do already have an idea where to produce it, and we've been in contact with some companies, but we just need to finalize it, see some examples of materials first.
Yeah. Why don't you go to a publisher? If you go to a publisher, they might pay you a bit for your game or your idea, but then if they like, they can change everything. So they might change all the drawings, change all the values and abilities and stuff, and make more or less another game out of it. And we just didn't want to do that.
We're not really that interested in having a game in the store that maybe carries the same name but is not the exact same anymore. As tempting as it sounds to have your game in every store, it's just more valuable to us to have our game the way we intended it to be shared with the world.
Yeah. All right.
What will you do if you collect more than 12,000 francs?
Well, we just have more possibilities, basically. If we just have these 12,000 francs, then that just covers the production of the game. We even have to pay ourselves for like sending it to the people, and maybe there's more costs that we have to cover. And if we get more, like 20,000, we can maybe design our pawns ourselves or something like that. We just have more possibilities. Also, like all the costs are covered for sending it to the people, and maybe we can produce more games than we actually need right now and set up an online shop, that would be pretty cool. So we definitely have a lot of ideas in mind what to do with if we get more money, and everything goes into the game. I mean, we don't earn anything from it, and it's not our interest really. We just wanted to put it into the game.
Yes, and not that we expect it, but even if we got a lot more money than what we were aiming for, we're gonna use it for the game. Yeah, now we're at the last section of this Q&A. To round this up, we have 2 questions about us as people.
Are you two a couple?
Yes, obviously.
We're a couple for over 7 years now, and it definitely helped. While working on the game, we were discussing stuff like day and night, and it was always on our minds. What else do you do in your lives? Well, we have 2 kids, 2 sons. They're 3 and 1 years old, and
they're keeping us on our toes.
Yes, they definitely
so
do.
It's never boring, even if we're not working on the game. Yeah, well, I have a job as well. I work in a software division of a company in Zurich. And you?
I worked as a teacher, elementary teacher, until last summer. And last summer I decided to quit my job to, first of all, be there for the family when our second son was born, and to work on the crowdfunding campaign, because it would have been really difficult to set it up if we were both be working and looking after 2 kids and then managing like the game and preparing everything. It would have been really difficult. It's a lot of work, and that's what I do since autumn. And yeah. And apart from that, we just do like normal stuff. Yeah, play video games. We hang out with friends. We go outside, go for walks or hikes. All right, that's it.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.